In today's Leeds News weekend results, Harrison exit boost, Schmidt almost quit, redevelopment may reduce availability short term, and this week's Loan Watch. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. It is Wednesday morning, the 25th of September with your Leeds United news. There's a little bit of stuff to get into. There's some results at the weekend and some potential boosts coming into the January transfer window, which is not that far away, but there's some detail around some money that could come in that could actually help Leeds if they decide to flex their muscles come January. So we'll start off with the weekend results and we'll head a bit later with this one, but we'll crack into it now anyway. Leeds United women had a dominant win at home to Durham, a 4-2 win with goals from Kat Smith and Jess Rossio, a brace each for them. Rossio scores an absolute banger from long range, worth checking that one out. Tough trip next for the Leeds women as they travel to Doncaster. Rovers Bells up next. Under 21s had a 4-1 away loss at the hands of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Luca Thomas though continues his strong start to the season, another goal for him. Leeds United under 18s had a solid 2-2 draw at home against Liverpool. Louis Peary and Devin Brockie with a goal each for the Leeds youth side. We've got Jack Harrison news as well today. And yesterday we spoke about Rasmus Christensen's loan potentially being turned into a permanent move to Eintracht Frankfurt on the back of a very strong start to his loan in Bundesliga. Today it's the turn of Jack Harrison, and Everton have had a long-standing interest in making Jack Harrison's move to the club a permanent one, but they haven't been able to do that due to their ownership and financial situation and Leeds United's own situation as well. But now Everton look like their takeover from the Friedkin Group is likely to go through and will likely then free up some available funds coming into the January transfer window. The Friedkin Group also own AS Roma as well, but as we've heard and we've talked about it on this channel over the course of the last couple of months, Everton do want that move to be made a permanent one. But if Leeds get promoted to the Premier League at the end of this season, that will put Everton in a seriously disadvantaged situation. The terms of the contract won't allow a loan to a Premier League club if Leeds are in the Premier League. That loan clause is null and void, so it would have to be a sale. Jack Harrison's contract at Leeds United runs until 2028, so it puts the Leeds in a very strong position from a contractual perspective and an ability to dictate a price for the winger. If Everton were likely to make a move, you would imagine the January window would be the most sensible move in terms of Leeds still being a championship club at that point and them having a few extra quid floating around after their takeover goes through. But we'll have to wait and see. Harrison's keen to stay at Everton. It seems that Leeds are keen to sell Harrison. I think as fans we will be very happy to see the back of the loanees, full stop. Well, the ones that aren't out for development purposes, put it that way. Moving on to a player that came into Leeds United at the very end of the transfer window, and that was Leeds' final signing, Isaac Schmidt. He's been speaking with Leeds Live about his footballing career and an incident that almost led to him not continuing forward in his career and actually quitting it. He describes it as a miracle move that saved his career. Schmidt's career has been going from strength to strength over the last couple of seasons, culminating with a move to Leeds United and a potential opportunity to play in the Premier League next season on the horizon for the player. He's a very versatile player and he could offer Leeds a lot of options around the park at a very discounted price. Maybe he's the next version of Stuart Dallas for us, but on the moment that he almost quit the game, Schmidt has had the following to say to Leeds Live. 3 years ago, there was a moment I was between going out of professional football completely and going to the third or fourth division. I had a miracle that St. Gallen saw me for a few games and in that last year. He went on to describe the conversation with his coach that made his decision. The coach saw me for one game and he told me, "You are the best player out there. I don't care if you've had this injury. If we work with you, we can make something." Today I can say he made a good choice. We haven't seen a huge amount of Isaac Schmidt just yet, but £2.5 million I think is what he's cost Leeds United. He came on against Cardiff in the centre of the park and has much more versatility to him as well. I think he's played in every single position, including striker. So it's always nice to have one of those. Stu Dallas has made a career at Leeds and made himself a legend at Leeds by having that ability to do it and do it well as well. So we'll see what Schmidt can bring to the team if and when he gets into that lineup. Moving on to the big announcement this week, that was Elland Road, and a little bit more detail is starting to come out and some news around how the development will be done from a Leeds United perspective as Leeds look to try and emulate Liverpool in how that they did the upgrading work to Anfield, and as Leeds bring those tips and tricks to what they're going to do with Elland Road. there will be a short-term drop in attendance as a key development technique that will allow Leeds to build around the current west and north stands. Basically what will happen is they will start by building the upper tiers above those stands and then redevelop the lower stands after that once the top tiers are completed. However, at one point during Liverpool's redevelopment of Anfield, there was 11,000 seats that were out of action and unavailable to purchase. So there is a short-term trade-off in order to get the development that's needed off the park. The stadium itself would put Leeds back in the elite around Europe and putting Leeds into a much stronger position. From a revenue perspective, Leeds currently bring in about £1.5 million per game and have this long-term ambition of getting to Spurs' level of bringing in £4 million per home game. With the current PSO rules and the future planned PSO rules, the more money Leeds can bring in as revenue, the more money they can spend going forward. So increasing that attendance and the match day revenue is massively important to getting Leeds pushed up the division when they get back into the Premier League. Simon Jordan's been speaking this week on TalkSport about the move, and he has heaped praise on the announcement, and he believes this will be a catalyst that will drive Leeds United back to the top of European and UK football. But he did go on to say that Leeds now need to sort out their team on the pitch as well. It's a massive decision. It's a massive thing to do. There will be some short-term growing pains, I suppose, with this. It will take some of the edge off the stadium, as some people are worried about, yes. But it will bring a huge amount more money into the club, and it gives Leeds a chance to continue to compete and get back to where the club belongs as a big team on the pitch as well as a big club off the pitch. And we'll hopefully start seeing that over the next couple of weeks. We'll see some renders. There are pictures apparently floating around. They're not all perfect. They're pretty basic. But we are looking forward to seeing the artist renders that were done or were sent in to be done last week. So that's when the excitement will kind of build on it. And then we'll see what can happen if Leeds... They haven't said whether Leeds have to be promoted or not. Prag Marat in May, when he was talking to the journalists, kind of said that it would happen regardless. But we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. We'll wrap up today's video by moving into Loan Watch. Mixed bag for the loanies this week. Jack Harrison started off. He was a second half substitute for Everton in their 1-1 draw with Leicester City, coming on in the 61st minute for them, getting a bit of stick from the Everton fans this week in social media. Rasmus Christensen, 90 minutes for Eintracht Frankfurt in their 2-0 win over Borussia Mönchengladbach. Frankfurt now sitting in 4th place in the Bundesliga currently. Sam Greenwood, not a great day at the office for Sam, started for Preston in their 0-0 draw with Blackburn, but a straight red card for Sam for an unnecessary scissor tackle lunge about just under the knee of the player. It was a bad tackle, and rightly saw a straight red in that game. Darko JB started and played 77 minutes for Plymouth in their 1-0 loss away at West Brom. JB has been coming in for a lot of praise in recent weeks over at Plymouth. And Sonny Perkins was an unused substitute for Leyton Orient in their 4-1 away win at Stockport County. It's not going great for Sonny Perkins at Leyton Orient, going back to the club that he started his career at. You were hoping was the catalyst to kick him into gear, but it hasn't happened. And he's struggling again on another loan, but I believe he's out of contract at the end of the season with Leeds, so I believe this will be the last contract that Sonny Perkins has with the club, and it's not going great for him down in League One at the moment, so you'd hope that improves for him, but we'll keep an eye on them over the remainder of this season. Folks, we'll wrap it up there today. The podcast could be out a bit earlier this week. It might be out later on this evening. Keep an eye out for that if you want, and then we will have the news in the morning, and we've got a press conference as well for Danny Farke as we get ready for the game against Coventry. Folks, talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.